grew up in East Tennessee. My grandparents told me stories. My mom and dad told me stories. There was a character in my stories by the name of Jack. Now, every one of you know a Jack story. You've known it since you were this small. Jack and the... But there's hundreds, actually thousands of Jack stories out there. They're called Jack tales. Not the kind of tale that a dog or cat has, but they're tales like in tall tales. Stories that not quite true, and you sort of know it by the way they sound. Now, this is a story about Jack and his very first job. In some circles and in some books, this story is entitled Obedient Jack. Obedient Jack, and you'll understand why when you hear the story. What does obedient mean? Anybody? What does obedient mean? It means good, but why good? What does obedient mean? I'm sorry? Yeah? Trustful? Yes, exactly. Do what your mother says. Obedient. Obedient is to follow the instructions. Do exactly. Be obedient. If your mother or father tells you to do something, and you do it exactly the way they told you, you're very obedient. Same thing with your teacher and your principal. Okay? Now, Jack took that a little too far. He did everything his mother said to do exactly the way she said to do it, no matter what the circumstance. Jack got a job working for a farmer down the road. He'd never had a job before. This was his very first job, and he was really excited about it. The farmer said, Jack, I'll put you to work. And if you do real good, I'll hire you again next week. But I'm going to give you a trial. 5 days to see how you do. If you do good, I'll hire you again. You start tomorrow morning, bright and early. And by golly, Jack was there, bright and early, on the farm, ready to work, and he worked all day long. And working on a farm is hard work. Well, at the end of the day, the farmer paid Jack. He paid him with a crisp $1 bill. Now, you can tell that was a long time ago. $1 for a whole day's work? It was paper money. Jack had never seen paper money before. He had seen a penny, he'd seen a nickel, he'd even seen a dime, and he'd heard tell of a quarter. But he had never seen paper money. And oh, he was so proud of that dollar bill. He held it in his hand real tight, and he wanted to show it to his mom. So he went home. But he decided to go through the woods on the way home, and he loved to fish. Right there in the middle of the woods, there was a creek that he liked to fish out of, and a bridge that crossed the creek. So he decided just to stop just for a second and look for fish. So he looked on one side of it. There was a crawdad, there was a bullfrog, but no fish. So he looked on the other side, and right away, oh man, there's a rainbow trout coming right at him. And he pointed. He dropped that dollar bill. The dollar bill landed in the water, and the water took it off downstream. Jack lost a whole day's pay. When he got home, he told his mama what had happened. Mama wasn't happy at all. You know what she said? Jack, what am I going to do with you, boy? Say that with me. Jack, what am I going to do with you, boy? Tomorrow when you get paid, and you will get paid tomorrow, when you get paid, take the pay, put it way down deep in your pocket. Jack said, yes, Mama. So he went to work the second day. He worked all day long. At the end of the day, the farmer paid Jack. He said, Jack, you've done another good job for me today. I'll pay you something special. I just milked my cow, and I got some fresh milk for you. Here's a whole pitcher. There's your pay. Jack remembered what his mama said to do with his pay. He took that pitcher of milk and he poured it way down deep in his pocket because he was obedient. And he put the empty pitcher up on the shelf. He slapped his knee, milk went everywhere. He went home and he didn't have to tell his mama what had happened. She looked at his pants and saw all that milk coming out of it. You know what she said? Jack, what am I going to do with you, boy? Tomorrow when you get paid, take the pay, balance it up on top of your head, and come walking home real slow. Jack said, yes, Mama. So he went to work the next day. Worked all day long. At the end of the day, the farmer paid Jack again. He said, Jack, you've done another good job for me today. I'm going to give you something special. I churned up some sweet butter last night, and I got a big 5-pound block of butter right here I'd like to give you. Here's your pay. Jack remembered what his mama said. So he put that butter on his head, and he started walking home real slow. It was a hot day. Sun was shining down on Jack's face. What's that butter for? It started melting down the sides of Jack's face, into his shirt, into his pants, clean down into his sneakers. When Jack got home, his mama took one look at him. Well, Jack, you look like the inside of a popcorn box. Jack, what am I going to do with you, boy? Tomorrow when you get paid, and you'll get paid tomorrow, take your pay, run it down to that cold creek that you're always fishing out of, dip it down in that cold water, come straight home. Jack said, yeah, Mama. So he went to work the next day. Worked all day long. At the end of the day, the farmer paid Jack once again. He said, Jack, you've done another good job for me, and I'm going to give you something special. Jack, you want a cat? I've always wanted a cat. And he gave Jack a cat for his pay. Jack remembered what his mama said. And he took that cat down to the creek, but cats don't like water. Oh, that cat scratched Jack up one side and down the other, went running off through the woods back to the farm. Jack went home and his mama saw him all scratched up. You know what she said? Tomorrow when you get paid, take your pay, find your piece of rope, wrap it around the end of it, and lead it home. Every now and then you might have to stop and go, here, kitty, 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 here, kitty, 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 kitty. Jack said, yes, Mama. So he went to work the next day, worked all day long. At the end of the day, the farmer paid Jack. Jack, you've done another good job for me today, and I want to give you something special. Are you hungry? I'm always hungry. Wake up. Jack, I got you a real nice country ham. Jack remembered what his mama said. And he found a rope and wrapped it around the end of that country ham, and he started leading it home. Every now and then he'd stop and go, here, kitty, 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 here, kitty, kitty, kitty. By the time Jack got home, the only thing left of that ham was the bone. But he did have 37 cats following him. His mama looked out the window, saw that bone on a rope and all those cats. You know what she said? Tomorrow is your last day of work, Jack. Make me proud. When you get paid tomorrow, take your pay, lift it up on your shoulder, and carry it home. Jack said, yes, Mama. So he went to work. The last day of work. Worked all day long. At the end of the day, the farmer said, Jack, you've done a good job for me all week. I'm going to hire you next week. But today, I want to pay you something special. Jack, you want a cow? I've always wanted a milk cow. And then he remembered what his mama said. He got up under the cow and he started lifting and pulling and tugging. And he finally got that cow up on his shoulder. It's the truth. I wouldn't tell you a story. And that cow was heavy. He decided to take the shortcut home, which was down through the middle of town. There he went, Main Street, carrying that cow up on his shoulder. Now, as luck would have it, the richest man in the county lived on Main Street, in a big house with a big front porch. He had a daughter who used to sit on the front porch and watch people walk by. Now, the thing about his daughter was she had never spoken a word in all the days of her life. She couldn't talk. The doctors had told her, before you can talk, you must first learn how to laugh. And this was her lucky day. She looked up and saw Jack coming down the street, Main Street, with a cow on his back. She rubbed her eyes. She couldn't believe it. She looked again. It is Jack, and he's got a cow on his back. And she started laughing out loud. She called out to her daddy, 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 come quick. Here comes Jack with a cow on his back. Here comes Jack with a cow on his back. Here comes Jack with a cow on his back. The richest man in the county was out back. Heard his daughter laughing and calling out. He ran around front, saw Jack with that cow on his back, went over to Jack and said, Son, you're the smartest man I know. You made my daughter laugh. That made her talk. And I'm going to give you half of all my money and one of my credit cards. Well, it's a pretty good idea, pretty good thing that rich man gave Jack half of his fortune. Jack didn't have a good way with pay at all, did he? Well, Jack, he married the richest man in the county's daughter. They lived happily ever after. And Jack's mama, she never, ever, ever had to say, ever